Day 16, Radville BMX, 30-day, 30-bike, BMX Old School Challenge. Today we got a classic for you folks. 1984 Haro Sport. Let's get into it. Frame and fork are original in white with red, white, and blue decals. Absolutely stunning. Bike has been rebuilt. As much attention to catalog correct to 1984 as possible. Still fitting in with taste. So let's go through it from the ground up, okay? So this bike is just full of so many favorites of mine, from componentry and accessories, and it's just a great rider. So much history behind this. Thank you, Bob Haro. So from the ground up, we got Comp 3 tires. These are going to be repop in blue with gum tan walls in really good shape. I enjoy the knobbies, right? So back in the early 80s, everything was the racing scene. So of course you were going to have a lot of bikes with knobbies on them, and I absolutely love them. They're versatile. You can absolutely ride down the road on them, no problem. They're great on the dirt, great at the track. Do not recommend them for the skate park. So a little bit of a cautionary tale there. But not taking my 84 Sport to the skate park anytime soon, so that's okay. Love to ride this. It's a great rider around town. And on the inside, we actually got another favorite of mine, although I know many people, purists and actual riders, are down on the Z's, right? But I love the Z's. Can't get enough of my Z's, right? ACS zrims in blue. These are in really good shape with the original ACS hubs on them. Love these. I was a big fan of the zrims in the early 80s. I got to admit, had no problem with them bending or whatsoever, because I just thought that's what rims were meant to do. So thought the zrims were so cool, and probably because of all the colorful ads and the colors that they came in, was just absolutely totally awesome. So love that. Not afraid to admit it. Yes, I must be a poser because I love me some zrims still to this day. And when you get a bike where it's actually correct to put them on, bonus, right? So yes, 84 Haro Sport option with the zrims, and so we're actually coming correct here. Most of my bikes, the Z's are just sort of aftermarket, but I love it here that I can show that on the Sport. Moving forward to the midsection, we got a Sugino crank, Spider, and chainring. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Looks like it's kind of a no brand. I'm not sure if it came complete. Can't quite remember. I think it did. In fact, I think the Sugino crank, 175 millimeter, I believe, and actually has a stamp 83 inside, 83 or 84. So it's definitely old and legit. You can see that Sugino stamp, which is really cool. Love that. MKS Graphite X pedals, and moving on up, definitely got a funky little chain on there. I'm not sure if that little funky little chicken is old school or what. It's definitely old though. It's not my normal chain that I would put on there. Might have scored that somewhere along the line, but actually I kind of like the effect of it with the white and the patina on it. So don't usually call out the chains too much, but that one kind of caught my eye. Moving up, we got the Diacomp hinged seat clamp. So that is correct to the bike, and I believe that to be definitely an old school seat clamp. Seat post, I believe that's a fluted laid back seat post. In fact, I think the 84 Sport, you got away with a laid back seat post, but definitely don't want to put a laid back seat post on any of your 85 Sports or thereafter. The geometry is already laid back enough, and again, no math lessons today. We'll talk more about geometry later in the series where we'll do some comparisons. But I do believe this one is okay to have the laid back seat post, and the reason for that is you don't want to damage your seat post mast. So I'll double check that and just confirm, but don't think I heard any issues or, you know, any of my riders that are, you know, very familiar with the 84 Sport that used to ride this back in the day pointed out to me. So I could be wrong. Throw some comments in there if I am, because I definitely don't want to put this in harm's risk. But I think the geometry, my understanding, Bob had tweaked the torquer geometry, and I'm just not sure on this 84 Sport, you know, where it is. Looking at it, it's definitely got a good laid back angle to it. So the fact that it's taking it back even more, it's almost wheelie bar. But anyway, moving on. Great blue seat that I'm not even sure the brand of it. This is like one of the early seats. This is 80, you know, early 80s, and I'm guessing either the Velo is kind of what it's looking like to me, but definitely great seat, old school, fits in nice with the blue, so you can see the red, white, and blue theme going on here. Moving up front, again, we got the Z's. You can see get a good look at the hub there. Got a freewheel in the back, got some dice on the valves, and just one brake on this one. Again, you know, you could have put a front brake on there, just not a typical, you know, an 84, although I'm sure probably would be correct to put one on there. I got a Diacomp 880 on the rear. I have to check that out and see if, you know, I'm sure you could, you know, obviously Bob Haro being famous for the Indo and, you know, had a front brake on there. I probably just hadn't put one on yet and need to get an 880 on there and do so. So yeah, something to improve on this bike for sure. Okay, then moving up, got a headset on there that I think is nothing particular famous. You know, it might even be a bear trap or something. Then we got the Redline stem, and here's where I want to call out some really cool details. So at the time, Bob was looking for the best componentry, and that's really what I like. I like that style where it's not everything, you know, straight out of the factory and all same brand, right, that you see later on, particularly in the later in the 80s, where everything was just branded out and, you know, all about selling the branded componentry to the catalog. But I like when, you know, Bob had to get creative here and what was the best products on the market. So the Forklifter stem and the Forklifter bars, right? These were the best on the racing scene. I mean, you know, definitely top, right? I'm sure there were some other bars. I don't want to knock some of the other great bars that were out there, but I think from the way these transitioned into the freestyle scene, right? You later saw the crossbar dip down a little bit on the Forklifter Freestyle Edition. So this is actually a Forklifter racing bar, which is actually correct in 84. And got an MX brake lever there on the rear. And we have some Oakley grips. These are Repop, I believe the 2010 edition. B1s, I think. I'll have to get a closer up and add that in the walk around edit. And of course we got some donuts on there. Those actually are Mike Buff, so those are a little bit later than the bike in 84, but still kind of liked them. Came on the grips, didn't want to change them. Thought that was pretty cool. So all in all, rolling through this bike, I got to tell you, I'm inclined to give it, you know, maybe a 9 if I could stretch, right? I got to take off a point for the front brake probably, and the Repop, you know, grips, but they are Oakley. So this is just, in my opinion, really enjoying this, really happy to share it with you today. In day 16, Radville BMX, 30-day, 30-bike, BMX old school challenge. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you're able to subscribe and keep staying with us. Thanks so much. Take care.